Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something a little darker this time?
Oh, definitely darker.
We're talking Joker, Folie, the sequel that just hit theaters.
Yeah, October 4th.
Big shoes to fill, right? After the first Joker blew everyone away.
It really did.
So we're hitting up the movie database, PMDB, to get into the nitty-gritty of this one.
Always a solid starting point.
For sure. First up, the tagline, "The world is a stage."
Woo! Interesting choice.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It definitely leans into that whole theatrical vibe, right?
Totally. Especially with Arthur Fleck, blurring that line between what's real and not so much.
Exactly. And we know from the first film that line can get pretty blurry for him.
No kidding. And speaking of blurred lines, how about that title? Folie.
Madness of two. Someone's got a new friend.
Right. Makes you think about how his madness might influence or be influenced by someone else.
Oh, for sure. That shared delusion, it's a whole psychological thing.
Heavy stuff, which makes this plot summary even more surprising.
Let me guess. Mayhem and
Uh.
murder sprees.
Well,
Oh.
there's some of that, but also love and music.
Whoa, now that's unexpected.
Right. It's like they're throwing curveballs left and right with this sequel.
Definitely piques the curiosity.
Speaking of curveballs, how about this casting choice? Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
See, I knew we were in for a wild ride.
And it wouldn't be a proper Joker sequel without some familiar faces.
Right.
Zazie Beetz is back as Sophie, and Brendan Gleeson is reprising his role too.
Feels like a bit of a reunion, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how those characters are woven into the story.
Me too. And speaking of story, TMDB lists the film's budget at a cool $195 million. That's a hefty chunk of change, even for a movie with this much hype.
Wow, talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
But with the current box office revenue of $114,670,467, it seems like they're well on their way to earning that back.
Yeah, it's definitely making its way to the top.
So what's the critical reception like? What's the overall vibe?
Well, TMDB lists Joker, Folie with an R rating.
Not too surprising considering the first film.
Definitely not one for the kids.
I'll be sticking to the G-rated movies for a while. And speaking of different perspectives, I caught a fan review on TMDB that I thought was interesting.
Oh,
This user, CinemaSurf, gave it a 6 out of 10. They actually said they preferred the first film and felt this one wasn't as strong.
that's understandable. Sequels often face an uphill battle when it comes to living up to the original, especially with a film as iconic as Joker.
It's true. There's always pressure to deliver.
It's important to remember that art is subjective. What resonates with one person might not land the same way with another.
So true. I'm seeing a real mix of reactions online. Some people are blown away, others, well, let's just say they're not quite ready to sing its praises.
Seems like it's shaping up to be a love it or hate it kind of movie.
You know what really caught my eye on TMDB, though? The key words. They've tagged this film with everything from asylum and musical to dark romance and absurd.
That's quite the combination. They even threw in a pretentious tag for good measure.
Huh. Interesting choice of words.
To me, that says Joker. Folie is aiming for a very specific tone, embracing the theatrical, the macabre, and maybe even a touch of the surreal.
It's like they're leaning into the madness, right? I mean, you've got insane asylum right there in the key words. It's almost like they're giving us a glimpse into Arthur Fleck's state of mind just from those words alone.
It's fascinating how those keywords paint a picture of the film's themes.
You've got the darkness of asylum and insane asylum, pointing towards that descent into madness, a blurring of reality and delusion.
And then there's musical, suggesting a blend of music and theater, a very specific style that could be captivating and jarring at the same time.
And we can't forget dark romance. This isn't your typical love story, but that keyword suggests a complex, maybe even twisted, romantic subplot.
That makes you wonder what kind of relationship could blossom in the midst of all this chaos.
Yeah, and you got to wonder what kind of music will be involved. Will be something jarring, almost disturbing, or something that's surprisingly beautiful.
It's like they're taking all these contrasting elements, the darkness, the music, the romance, and weaving them together to create something both unsettling and strangely compelling.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
This whole mashup of keywords, the cast, that tagline, the plot, it feels like they're really pushing boundaries with this sequel and messing with what people expect.
It really does feel like they're going for something different with this one, not just a rehash of the first film.
Right. almost like they're trying to spark a whole new conversation.
And that's what made the first Joker so impactful, right?
Totally. It sparked all those conversations about mental health, about society's blind spots.
The dark sides we don't always want to admit are there.
Exactly. And with Folie with that title, I wonder if they're taking it a step further.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, it makes you think about how obsession, delusion, those things can be contagious, especially these days.
Ooh, I see where you're going with this, like a social commentary almost.
Right. Our world of social media, constant connection, everyone chasing clout, buying into those extremes.
It's like the line between who we are and who we present online. It's getting blurrier.
Exactly. And Joker, Folie maybe it's holding up a mirror to that.
Now that's a thought-provoking take. And it's what makes the sequel so fascinating.
It's not just giving us answers, right? It's making us ask the questions.
And maybe those are the best kinds of films, the ones that stay with you, make you think.
The ones that spark conversations, even debates.
Exactly. So there you have it. Our deep dive into Joker, Folie.
We've explored the tagline, the plot, that killer cast.
Not to mention those keywords that are just begging to be unpacked.
Right. But now it's your turn. Check out Joker, Folie and let us know what you think. What resonated with you? What didn't land?
And what are your interpretations of those keywords? We'd love to hear your takes.
Deep dives are always better shared. So until next time, happy watching.